Hello guys, welcome to a PocketFarm development vlog. Today I want to work on something that I find quite interesting. Few people that I've shown the game to have told me that it's quite tedious to collect the crops and especially things like wheat one at a time. So what I mean by this is that now if you want to collect these crops, this wheat, you have to go on each of them, click on them, and then accept the resources that you collect from it. So it can be pretty tedious, especially if you have a big farms or large wheat fields that you have to collect. So what I want to do is have this item here, the hay cart, that right now is just a decoration, but I want that you're able to click on it and it's going to automatically collect the wheat around it. So you would click on it and gather. And the other thing I want to do is upgrade the cart. So this is a small cart, but I have bigger ones like this one that you can fill it with more wheat. So for example, the small one, the level 1 cart, could collect wheat in a cross pattern. But if you upgrade it, you would be able to collect all around the wheat cart like that. So you could collect 8 blocks with wheat, and if you upgrade it even further, you could collect like a huge area like this. So you could have carts laying around your farm and you could use them to quickly collect all the wheat around your farm. So that's what I'm going to be working on this video, and let's dive into it. Alright, so here I'm creating a base class called container. Basically, container classes can have other items inside, like chests, ovens, the cart. Anything that can hold other items inside will extend the container class. Alright guys, so now the level 1 cart is working. So if we press there, we have the option to gather. Gather collects everything around it. Actually, I saw how it disappeared. And we see how the items are inside our cart. And if we collect, they will all jump into our inventory. Now, I need to work on level 2 and level 3 cart. And I also have to change it so that when we don't have anything inside the cart, it's going to look empty. Something like this here. So it's going to look empty when we don't have any wheat inside. And if we gather the wheat, we're going to fill it with the wheat on top. So let me quickly do that and I'll be back in a minute. So basically every time we update the cart, we will switch between 2 3D models, one which is filled and one which is empty. Alright, so sometimes I realize that I make 2 statements, like if the item list .count is greater than 0, and then I do something, and then I do else and the other thing. And sometimes it might be cleaner if you just do the statement condition as the property that you want to set things to. So for example, what I mean with this is that we have the empty cart and the full cart that we want to switch on and off. So for example, I'm going to do transform.find empty cart dot game object and dot set active, right? We have these 2 lines. One is with the empty cart and the full cart. So we can do something like boolean condition is equals to item list.count is greater than 0. So if the item list.count is greater than 0, the full cart is going to be active and the empty cart is going to not be active. And vice versa. If the item list.count is not greater than 0, then that means the cart is empty and we're going to set it like that. Sometimes I just think it looks more packed. And yeah. Alright, so now we should be ready to see the card changing from empty to full. Let's try it here. Let's see if it works. So yeah, now it's empty and it started empty. So it looks empty. If I click on gather, there's nothing around, so nothing happens. Nice. Let's plant some wheat around it. And let's wait for it to grow. Alright, so now the wheat has grown and it looks empty, so let's click on it. Wait, I want to move the camera so that we can actually see it. So I'm going to place it up there. Click on it and gather. Pay attention up there. There you go. Everything went inside and now we see how it's full with stuff. And now it's full, so we could close this and leave it as it is so it looks pretty. But we can also click on it and collect, and now it's empty. Awesome. This looks, I'm like super excited with all this. Now the other thing is that you realize it's now only working on a cross pattern like that because we haven't upgraded it. So I'm going to also do the upgrades. Maybe I won't change the model for now, but I'm just going to make the function of the two upgrades. So let me work on that. Alright, so basically I have a switch or 3 different if statements for each level. So level 1, level 2 and level 3. And I just changed the different overlap boxes that I use to check for the weeds around. So it's just going to be a bigger and bigger overlap box on depending on the level. And let's see if this works. Oh, and before I can do that, let's do this serialize field so that I can change it from the editor so we can actually upgrade the card without having to go through the whole process. So alright, let's plant some wheat. We have the hay cart here. It's level 1. So if we do level 2, it should collect everything around it. So 8. Right now we know that it worked on a cross pattern. So let's change this to level 2 and see if it works. So we click on the card, gather, and awesome, we got all of it. So we can close it. The card looks full, and of course in this case it's a level 2 card. It should look like this card here, the bigger one. I'm going to replace that in the future, but the function is there. It's collecting 8 blocks around it. Alright guys, so now level 3 on our card for collecting wheat. Let's see how it works. So again, this should not be a completely square pattern, but it's actually more of like a rectangular pattern, so that you have to position your cards on specific locations in your farm to make it most effective. So let's click on the card. There's nothing inside. So click on it, gather, and boom, there you go. It collected all that. And actually, if we had some wheat over here, it would have collected that as well. So this is awesome. I really like this. I rotated this a little bit. I'm planning that this card, let me drag it, it's very big. So the big cards though, the upgraded versions, would look something like this. And they would actually use 2 blocks instead of 1. So for example, this one would be something like that. So yeah, maybe it's just going to be in the middle. Wait. Yeah, maybe we can place it in the middle. Doesn't look too big for 1 block. So I could make it smaller on that axis a little bit. Maybe something like that. Yeah, maybe something like that. And it's going to collect again a 3 times 5 grid. So well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about hay cards. I did enjoy making this. I think it's a pretty awesome tool to have, in your farm. It makes actually everything quicker to collect all the wheat that you might have. I think it's pretty neat to have this. Yeah, let me know what you think about the hay cart and the function. Do you think it's a cool item? Should we have more items like this? Maybe something similar, but to speed up the process of planting your seeds. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.